For decades, enterprise software was a simple transaction. You bought a license, installed a static, boxed product, and it sat on your servers waiting to be used. The cost was fixed. But AI acts as a dynamic resource, a constantly burning fuel source for your organization. The price of frontier AI models is dropping by a factor of 10 with almost every new generation. Yet corporate IT budgets are exploding. Traditional financial operations teams are struggling to manage this expense. Their standard playbooks for cloud accounting and flat-seat licenses fail to capture why these costs scale so aggressively. The error is treating AI like traditional software as a service. When you use an advanced model, you aren't accessing an application. You are renting raw computational reasoning capacity by the millisecond. Because organizations are paying for machine thought rather than software licenses, the bulk of their AI budgets is being drained by complex, invisible processes that human users never actually see. To understand where the money goes, we have to look at the token. In popular terms, a token is a fragment of a word or a cluster of pixels. But economically, it is the practical accounting unit for computational intelligence. Every single token intrinsically links information processing to hardware memory allocation, physical energy expenditure, and a specific monetary cost. AI providers enforce a strict asymmetry in how these are priced. It costs them significantly more compute to generate a new word from scratch than it does to read a prompt you provide. Generating an output token often costs 4 to 6 times as much as processing an input token. Every digital action an AI takes is a literal withdrawal from a finite physical reserve of energy and silicon. Consider a standard enterprise workflow, analyzing and summarizing a dense 50-page legal contract. From the user's perspective, this looks highly efficient. You type a short, inexpensive prompt, hit enter, and the model produces a 1,000-token executive summary. But getting to that short summary requires a massive amount of invisible computational effort, categorized as hidden reasoning tokens. Before it writes a single word, the model is churning through chain-of-thought processing, running internal verification checks, and engaging in latent deliberation to weigh risks. In advanced knowledge work, the visible text you receive is just a fraction of the total cost. Corporations are primarily footing the bill for the machine's silent deliberation. This dynamic escalates as businesses move away from single-prompt chatbots and start deploying autonomous AI agents. Agents consume tokens recursively through continuous loops, planning their approach, retrieving documents, executing tools, and correcting their own errors without human intervention. This recursive looping causes token consumption to compound exponentially. A poorly designed workflow that triggers unnecessary loops can rack up massive computing bills in minutes. As these systems become more autonomous, the hidden expense of their internal thinking loops replaces the traditional software license as the dominant cost center. Zooming out from individual tasks, this token economy is forcing a global shift in corporate operating expenses. Budgets that were previously earmarked exclusively for human salaries and headcount are being aggressively reallocated to fund massive token expenditures. The transition is difficult. Companies are finding that complex agent workflows running on premium frontier models can actually cost more per task than hiring offshore human labor to do the exact same work. The global economy is stuck in a messy transitional phase, attempting to map traditional metrics of human productivity directly onto machine compute costs. There is a popular economic fallacy that AI agents are simply free labor with an infinite supply. AI is actually a technology that converts physical compute capital, like GPUs and electricity, into effective units of cognitive labor. This chart shows how the human hourly wage for a specific cognitive task compares to the rapidly declining rental rate of GPU compute required to perform that same task. This introduces the concept of the compute-anchored wage. On any task where a human and an AI can substitute for each other, the cost of the AI's compute physically caps the competitive wage a human can command. Gaining intensity. This shifts the economic anchor from the labor market to physical bottlenecks, data center capacity, energy grids, and silicon manufacturing constraints. In an age of abundant intelligence, machine thought is not free. The economic value of human cognitive labor is now forever tethered to the physical price of a token.